and happy Monday. Today we're going to go over some more stretches that you can do at work, mostly focusing on chest, upper body today. If you have a table nearby or a desk, this is a great place to get started. Some floor space will also be really good if you happen to just have a few feet around you. But basically all you'll need today is just a table, a desk, something that's wide enough for you to kind of grab wide, and then some floor space. So we're going to start with a table, desk, or an edge. Depending on how tall you are, you may need to find something a little bit higher, but we can adjust it. So basically we're going to work on stretching the front of the chest and the shoulders to kind of get opened up. Now what I want you guys to think about is take your arms and rotate it externally outwards. And that's how you're going to be holding this stretch. You want to make sure that that shoulder doesn't turn in, because we're trying to get that good stable position as we would with an overhead squat. So we want to make sure we externally rotate our arms. And you're going to take your table, grab it nice and wide, make sure that those arms are externally turned outwards, and then you can either squat down, you'll feel a really good stretch with this, or if you need to, come down on your knees and then just kind of come forward, bring that chest forward, making sure that those arms stay rotated outwards. You don't want to turn inwards. You want to make sure you're keeping your elbows pointed down towards the ground or like backwards, getting those armpits forward as best as possible. You're going to feel a really good stretch right in the front of your chest. Now you can position your hands wider or a little bit more narrow. It's like those PVC pass-throughs, just depending on your mobility and what feels comfortable to you. And again, you can do this in a squat. You can come down on your knees. If you need to find something a little bit higher, in case you're really tall, you can do that as well. So while you're here, so you can spend about 20-30 seconds here. Now what you can do is look over to the left, and you can bend one elbow and kind of stretch out one side, so this side stretch just a little bit more. So just kind of look to that one side. Again, continuing to keep those arms rotated outwards as best as you can. And to the other side. And just doing this about 5 times on each side for a few seconds, just to really get the front of the shoulders nice and opened up. So again, if you just have some table space, desk space, this is really great. Next thing I want to show you is something called a prayer stretch, or perhaps an eagle arm variation. So now using your table, and the more that you can basically not sit down in a chair, like if you can just get on your knees or something like that, this is great. So now for this one, there's a couple different variations that you can try, and I'll try to show you from this direction here. The first one is if you're familiar with the eagle arms pose, where you take one elbow and cross it over the other, and then you basically turn one of the palms facing so that you can kind of grab this. So if you can do this, this is the preferred method. So basically you're just going to latch your elbows onto the desk here, and you're going to try to push your shoulder blades backwards. So you're kind of rounding your back as you're doing this, and what you're going to try to do is keep those elbows locked in place. You're going to push your arms away from your upper back, and while you're doing this, again, thinking about taking those shoulder blades and pushing them backwards, and making sure that that chest gets rounded, kind of like you're in this cow position or the cat-cow position. And you can do this for about 20 to 30 seconds with each elbow, so you can switch elbows. Now, if this is not available to you, the other method is to take something, if you have like a ruler, something that's pretty long, PVC pipe if you're at the gym, golf club, a hammer, something that you can grab with your palms facing you, okay? And then what you're going to do with this one is you want to keep your elbows locked together as best as you can, and you're going to push your hands away. Now when you do this, your elbows are going to want to come apart, so really try to drive those elbows together and focus on keeping those elbows together as you push your hands away from you, and again the shoulder blades are coming back. So try to press away as best as you can. Once those elbows start coming away, that's as far as you can get, and this is also a really good stretch as well. So eagle arms. Cross one elbow over the other, latch the hands, press away, shoulder blades going backwards, or you can do this prayer stretch version as well. And all you need, again, is just some kind of low table surface. All right, next stretch we're going to do doesn't necessarily need any table surface, but This one's a little bit more of kind of a reaching just to get all the nerves down in our hands. So what you're going to do is reach your hands out to the side, and I want you to think about reaching with your elbows, not just your hand, but reach with the entire part of your upper arm out to the side. Now you're going to turn and look to one side, look to one hand. I want you to bring those fingertips up like you're a stop sign, okay, like you're telling someone to stop. Really try to get that palm as flat as you can. You're going to feel a lot of really good nerve stretch right along this entire arm. And again, you're reaching through the elbow, reach as far as you can, and then try to drive those fingers back towards you. Keep that palm as flat as possible. This is a really good stretch for the arms. You can turn to the other side and do that. I like doing this kind of like one arm at a time so I can really focus on that one arm as I'm doing it. So again, you're reaching out with the elbows, really kind of feel that shoulder come out of its socket there, and then try to bring those fingers flat up as best as you can, and again, really nice stretch all the way throughout the arm. So you can do this for about 10-15 seconds on each arm, just kind of looking back and forth. Do it a couple times on both sides. Again, really good stretch for the arms. Now let's focus a little bit on the thoracic area with a few moving bridges and some crab motions. So I think you guys can see me, but we'll just put it down on another chair here, just to make sure. Okay. So for this one, you do need a little bit of floor space. So you're going to start on all fours, and then some of you guys have done this with me in class before. We're going to come back onto a bridge position. So starting on all fours, I'm going to lift my hand, and I'm going to flip my 2 feet over so I'm on my heels. And then what I'm going to do is think about getting my hips up to the ceiling and face my chest towards the wall. And I'm going to rotate and do this a few times, so keeping it nice and active. You can stay in the same spot and do this statically, but I like to kind of keep it active and move back and forth about 10 times on each side. And again, really think about pressing those hips up to the ceiling, getting that chest up nice and tall, but keeping your shoulders, squared off to the wall. So it's really about getting your hips and your belly button upwards, driving through your heels as best as you can. So this is really great to kind of open up those shoulders and that upper back. And then the last thing you can do as well, and this is also another option if that's kind of really tough for you, is getting into a crab kind of position. So I'm going to place my fingertips facing forward, palms on the ground, get up right at my heels, and basically shoot my hips up. This is kind of hard to do. Shoot the hips up, really open that chest and the shoulders, and then come back down. So this is, again, a really good shoulder opener. Again, just go as far as you can, as high as you can. Even if you can't get to perfectly parallel to the ground, this is fine. That you're going to get a really good stretch with your shoulders here. And again, what you want to think about is opening up the shoulders, so seeing how I'm doing that external rotation there, where my shoulder just kind of turned outwards. It's like I had a little dot here, and it's going to turn out to the side. So that's what you want to think about with the crab stretches as well. So release, come down, and then try to come just a little bit higher with each one, hips up, and then right back down. So hopefully you can try some of these stretches at work if you have some floor space, table space, if you have any bit of time. And yeah, go get back to work now.